What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all having a great day. So I got this comment in from Andrew Smith on my video a couple weeks ago where I made a hero entirely from scratch using only what I got from the latest Masquerade comic. If you want to see that video, I'll have it up on screen here and you can check it out in the description. But anyway, Andrew said, I think it would be cool if you could do other videos on fan characters that others have made and you think are kinda cool. Like in this, how you think it would fit in. Well, Andrew, here you go. This may or may not be a mini-series, but there is an overwhelming amount of heroes and collective creativity to cover, so you should be expecting maybe a couple more videos like these in the future, so stick around and don't forget to sub if you like what you see. Today, we'll be talking about 5 of the really cool fan-made heroes that I found across forums, DeviantArt, and a lot of places where no one should be forced to go. Let's kick it right off with the number 5 spot being Cyril. 48-year-old Cyril van Dyke is a painter from Belgium, which I think is pretty interesting. I mean, we don't have a Belgian hero yet. We have a French one, but Belgium is pretty different. For starters, they have much better chocolate. But I'm way off track here. Can we just take a second to appreciate the design though? I mean, does this not just scream Overwatch to you? The creator, Smithstom, God, hope I'm saying that correctly, did an amazing job replicating the Overwatch style here. He already has some alternate skins, the Royal and Gilded Epic skins, which have a nice color scheme. Personally, I like the Gilded the best. I mean, just look at how well that orange yellow works. It's absolutely amazing. Moving on to his abilities, he is a defense hero that deals mostly with paint or liquid energy for his weapons. His chroma rifle is an interesting weapon. From the description, I think that each pellet does some damage, and maybe over time the liquid energy from the pellet also deals damage. That would make sense because it says the liquid energy slowly fades after you've stopped firing at them. I don't know, maybe instead they receive more damage in total, or maybe more just from your gun. I have no clue, it's pretty unclear, but it definitely has some sort of effect. If it amplifies damage, it makes him a more target-oriented hero. You want to hunt down one enemy, or it's good for your team like Zen's Discord. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. His primary ability is pushback that pins enemies if they hit a wall. It seems like a fair ability because it's a projectile, so with a lengthy cooldown, it shouldn't be too OP. It gives him a nice escape ability too. Not so sure about his secondary ability though. His paint bomb reduces vision, but in a game like Overwatch, that's a death sentence for every hero that requires any sort of aim. I think this one might be a little bit OP, but with proper cooldowns and effect durations, it literally can't be any worse than scatter arrows. Moving on to his ultimate, Energy Burst deals an average amount of damage to enemies nearby, and those covered with liquid energy take more damage, so the best strategy for this hero is to cover as many people with liquid energy as you can, and then drop in for the ult. Overall, this is a pretty cool hero. With proper cooldowns, I think his abilities would be just fine, and once again, props to the creator for this one. To the second hero of the day, we have Venus, who we don't have any lore about, but the design of the hero suggests some sort of experiment gone wrong, or maybe an experiment gone right, but clearly something crazy was going on here. This is another hero made by Smithstom. She is an offense hero who seems to be sort of like Doomfist with her melee and mobility build. Her attack is a melee, either a quick whip with a vine for her primary or a bigger vine whip that is her secondary. Her first ability is a mobility one, kind of like Widow's grappling hook, but for a melee hero it's gotta be down to like, I don't know, a 3-second cooldown or something. The obvious strategy here is to swing by with your vines and try to hit enemies as you're moving all around the place. Her second ability is an interesting kind of biotic field. She releases a cloud of spores that heal allies who walk through it, which is pretty interesting. For a melee hero, this is perfect, since healers don't always want to be that close in the combat. Big Disrupt is her ultimate. It constricts all enemies in a radius with her vines, much like May's Blizzard, but I'm guessing she's also unable to attack or do anything else while she's using it. So it really requires some coordination with your team, which is pretty nice. Team-oriented ults are the kinds that I live for, because no one can try to 1v6 with it. The concept for this hero is pretty interesting, and we have 3 more to go through, so let's get into spot number 3 with Rescue. This hero is really impressive. First of all, this is a dog. Very good dog. In fact, she's a support hero, and dogs make the greatest supports. Her primary fire is a very slow set of projectiles that slow enemies, which is pretty interesting. We only have one slowing effect so far, so I like it. They also deal very little damage, so this isn't a support that can really fight for herself. Enhanced Speed is one of her passives, which allows her to move faster the long she's been running for, which is quite useful for her first ability, which is fetching and deploying health packs. Pressing E while close to a health pack allows her to pick it up and store it in her bag. She can hold either 3 small packs or a large and a small pack, and with her quick movement she can deploy health packs pretty quickly. It's pretty similar to the idea I had when I made a support hero, so I totally agree with the concept. Her shift ability is a charge that deals 25 damage and increases her movement speed by 1, so she can get out of bad situations fairly quickly. It also deals some knockback, so that works too. Her second passive allows her to wall jump up walls, which is kind of strange for a dog, but as long as it works, hey, I'm down for it. Her ultimate, Motivational Howl, is a 30% damage boost to everyone on the map and a slightly different version of Orisa's ult. It also brings her directly up to speed 3 for the duration of 10.75 seconds. If Rescue dies during this, however, the effect ends early. I should mention she also can't move during the 1 second casting time either. For support hero, map-wide effects are things we haven't seen in a very long time, not really since Mercy's res radius was changed from 40 meters to 15, so it would be a pretty fresh change. I also want to take a second to mention the amazing artwork done for the uncommon, epic, and legendary skins. This hero is incredibly well done, and if her damage is a little bit higher, I wouldn't mind trying out this hero at all. Again, props to the artist Eddie Rodriguez for this amazing hero concept. Stick with me guys because we're at the number 2 spot with Drake. Drake is a pirate who is apparently in Overwatch. There's not much about his lore, but he does have some pretty cool skins on the right there. This hero was made by Elena Medovnikova. Now, the cannon on his right arm is a one-shot bolt-action bomb projectile that deals, I'm guessing, a ton of damage. His primary ability, Deadly Storm, shoots 3 bombs to a smaller area, and this is clearly meant to destroy shields and maybe a couple of tanks while you're at it. Boarding Attack is his second ability, which just stuns the enemy. Well, at least I'm hoping it just stuns the enemy, because it's a hook, and if it's just another Roadhog hook, it kind of takes away from his uniqueness. However, his passive ability is absolutely amazing, and this is where he is the most unique. The Curse of Davy Jones allows him to become a ghost for a few seconds after he dies. I don't know if this lets him use his abilities and deal damage, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. More than likely, it just lets him take a look around the map like a spectator, especially if the respawn counter goes down while he's a ghost. That would be really cool. His ultimate ability, Black Mark, is an AoE crowd control that stuns all enemies in it for 2 seconds. 2 seconds doesn't seem like that much, but clearly it's amazing if used with Rocket Barrage or High Noon. He would work really well as a defense hero, as well as bringing some interesting tactics to the game. Finally, we have Lyra at the number 1 spot, made by Carlos Ruiz. This hero is quite lengthy and in-depth when it comes to abilities, not much lore-wise, so let's get right into what she can do. Her weapon is a bolt-action sniper rifle that is slow to shoot and reload, but deals massive damage. In a fast-paced game like Overwatch, I have no clue how well that would actually work, but we don't know unless we try it out for ourselves. Her primary ability is an incendiary capsule, which is pretty cool. We don't have any fire abilities like that in the game, and new mechanics are always fun to play around with. Her next ability is sleep capsules that have 2 charges just like Junkrat Mines and put enemies to sleep the same way that Ana's sleep dart does. With only one hero having a sleep ability, it would be pretty interesting to see more heroes use the sleep mechanic because it has a huge potential for singling a target out. Her passive ability is her Owl Dervin, who flies around the map and periodically gives Lyra infrasight against a target on the objective for a couple seconds. This is generally useful, but it's really useful in funny situations when, a Sombra's stalling on the point or someone's using a sitting emote in front of your payload. In her ultimate, Dervin Controlled, as the name suggests, you can fly Dervin around and drop up to 3 bombs before running out of shielding or the timer runs out. This hero maybe seems a little bit overpowered. Well, she can sleep dart 2 people, set things on fire, and deal tons of damage with her rifle. Not to mention her ultimate is explosives from above. I don't know, she kind of reminds me of Ana, but a little bit more hardcore. Of course, we don't get to try any of these heroes out, but it's fun to speculate how well they would play in a regular game, and some of these would be really cool to see in-game. If there's ever an Overwatch workshop, all of these heroes would be great additions for custom matches and stuff like that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like. If we get to 30 likes, you can be guaranteed another one of these in the future. Tell me what your favorite fan-made hero was down below, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is Carter signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day.